All right, so we'll dive to this data science, introduction to data science, what is this data science is, and how the data science is working, and the importance of this story. Data science is a buzzword, so everywhere we can see data science, machine learning, AI. It might be education, it might be healthcare, it might be travel and transportation. Wherever you could be able to see data science. So this is one of trending and hot topic nowadays. So everyone is eager to learn. Everyone is interested, and everyone knows wants to learn machine learning, data science, and other related fields. Why all of a sudden the data science came into the context? There are a lot of reasons. A couple of reasons that I found from the literature can be found in below. Number one, we can find the data availability. There are thousands of data available. There are millions of data available nowadays. So we should have a good data data availability nowadays because thousands of millions of data generated in different kinds of streams. For an example, social media data generates billions of data in every second. Not only that, we have large varieties of data sources, business data sources available. So this available data makes this data science into the context because whatever the models that we are developing, whatever the products that we are developing, based on the data availability. If we don't have data, then we are unable to proceed. That's one of biggest reason nowadays the data science comes to the context. Every business, there are thousands of millions of data sources, databases available. So they can do a lot. And the machines, computational applications, software applications, all of these are developed to extract thousands of data and store this data inefficiently for the future use. We have computational power, not like 90s, not like 2000s. The computers are really powerful nowadays. So we can process thousands of millions of data in seconds. So that emphasize a lot this computational power to make this data science come to the context. For an example, there might be an image processing. If we have an image processing, we should have millions of bits to be processed. This requires a lot of computational power. So if you have large amount of computational power, yes, of course, then data science is there. There are thousands of algorithms implemented. We have a lot of algorithms implemented. So these algorithms are supporting a lot for us. So eventually, the implemented algorithms are supporting a lot. Sometimes it might be machine learning algorithms. Sometimes it might be much more detailed algorithms. So nowadays, all these organizations are focusing data-driven decisions. Organizations are interested to find data-driven decisions. So eventually, what has happened? The businesses are focusing data-driven decisions. They want to make decisions based on the data availability. Your business might have thousands of millions of data now. What you have to do? You have to get the decisions based on data. That's known as informed decision making. So this journey is really important, and this journey might helpful for you to learn all of these things. So day by day, we'll grow, and I will share all these details with you. If you have any questions, you feel free to share the question in the chat. What is data science? It's a paradigm changing term. It's a completely changed the paradigm of the businesses. Everyone wants to develop applications that can predict something, that can detect something, that can emphasize something specifically. Hence, we have a lot of definitions. But somehow, if we have a quick overview, a data science is foundation with collection of data sets. It's focused on many aspects such as data cleansing, data wrangling, and we have life cycle to get more clean data, more clear data. So more advanced techniques involved nowadays. We have a detailed big data. We have data mining aspects a lot. So eventually, all of these things are defining data science. Simply, if we have thousands of millions of data, and if we have to clean it, we have to pre-process it, we have to adjust it to get our work done. So that's the data science foundation. That's the ultimate goal of data science. And all these algorithms are developed to make the data science world much robust. When it comes to these data science activities, you should have a good understanding of this domain knowledge. Domain knowledge means the working business vector. For an example, education is a business vector. Hospitality, tourism and hospitality is another business vector. Travel and tourism is another big business vector. Healthcare is a business vector. All of these are generating businesses, or in the other hand, they are helping for human problems. If some business do have a specific scenario, a specific aspect to support the businesses, grow businesses, then we can consider those things as domains. Agriculture is a domain. Healthcare is a domain. Travel and tourism is a domain. Hospitality, supply chain management, all of these are banking, insurance, all of these are domains. If you don't have a proper domain knowledge, then you will get stuck very soon because you can't get a decision without the domain knowledge. But some of general like applications. For an example, we might have image processing. For that, you don't want specific domain knowledge. If you want voice recognition, if you want voice generation, if you want text generation, you don't want specific domain knowledge. These are very common vectors once it comes to data science. The second factor that you should have is programming skills or hacking skills. You should have sufficient hacking skills or programming skills. It's mandatory. If you don't have proper knowledge in programming, if you are unable to tackle with these codes, you might get stuck. But I'm not expecting extra super genius coding skills nowadays because we have machine tools, machinery tools, large language models such as ChatGPT and other tools to develop larger, lengthier codes. It can generate all these algorithms for you. So nowadays, your life is much easier. But what I believe is, if you don't have programming skills, you might stuck in somewhere because you are unable to resolve a problem. There are problems we can resolve using all these machineries tools, but there are some situations that human brain is required still. It's not fully self-healing. Eventually, what you need to do is you should improve your programming skills. But don't worry, you can grow it. For this subject, we are mainly focusing on R as well as Python. There are a lot of R packages, R videos available, which was done for previous years. Then I'll share all these things with you. Then you can learn R along. And I will share some Python code, Python videos also. So then you can do your self studies. I don't bother whether you're working Python or R. Ultimate goal is the solution. If you can find a proper solution, that's all. The third aspect is math as well as the statistical knowledge. Statistics mostly needed for the data science people because they want to see the distributions. They want to see how the data is move here and there, how the data is cluttered out, how to get these into different kinds of scalings. We can have like log scalings, transformations. Then you can go to Z-score to see the distributions. So these kinds of essentials are required. But you don't want to be a very genius in statistics, because in this subject, I'm more or less focused on applied data science. So you don't want to bother a lot. So then you can uh, have something a lot with this statistical knowledge. Once it comes to this mathematical knowledge, yes, of course, you want to develop mathematical models, because mathematical models are the models that predicting, the detecting, the telling whatever things XYZ effects. So I would strongly encourage you to go through and understand very well mathematics, statistics, programming knowledge if you don't have. Domain knowledge will automatically inject to you. You can't grasp it all of a sudden. General business factors like healthcare, like general health care, general education. Yes, of course, you can understand in a broader scope, but insurance, banking, in detail, it's really complicated businesses they are doing. So you should work in that business, then only you can get that experience. But somehow, don't worry. If you are not genius in math, if you are not genius in stats, if you are not genius in programming, that's fine. We have time. Push yourself, then only you can complete. But my suggestion is, if you feel you are not comfortable with statistics, if you are not comfortable with maths, if you are not comfortable with programming, this is not the subject that you have to select. I feel that's really painful, but this is the truth. If you don't know the bitter truth, you'll get stuck in somewhere and you'll realize, no, this is not the subject. Sometimes that time you might be too late. To avoid that, please take a decision. If you are not very good in, I mean, very good in the sense, at least if you don't have 70% of knowledge, math, stats, and programming, I would strongly encourage to improve, or else give up is the solution. Because I don't like to see painful faces at the end of the day. Don't assume this is something really easy. This is something bit complicated, but this is not rocket science. Anyone can learn. So you are the next one who is going to learn. But your support, your push, your your encourage is really needed. Let's dive into these organizations, how the data science organizations would influence decisions and predictions. Every business is now predicting. They want to see what happens in next. So eventually, all these things behind data science playing a big role. There's a video. Unfortunately, it seems it's not working for some reason. That's fine. Now, if you take this uh, data science pipeline, the data science process, it's a bit hard to narrow down to a specific scope. It's obvious. It's obvious to narrow down to a specific scope. So you should be able to go through a broader scope, a broader aspect. So in general, data science is a hard to specify. Uh, this is the best workflow for this problem. But general overview can be found in the below. We should have a problem at the very beginning. You should define a problem. You should see there's a problem. This problem should be able to solve using computations, and there should be sufficient data. If you have a problem that we can't solve using computers, computer machines, algorithms, we should not select that problem. So that those kinds of problems are really complicated. Some social problems, poverty, is a big problem, but we can't solve that problem using computers, right? So that's the big thing that we have to keep in mind. Once you select a problem, once you understood a problem, the next task is you should collect data that relevant for that problem to solve that problem. Ultimate goal is to solve the problem. To solve the problem, you should have good collection of data. If you don't have a good collection of data, you might stuck again. Nowadays, we have pre-processed algorithms. Hugging Face is a nice implemented algorithm. YOLO is a nice working applications. There are a lot of image processing, voice recognition. Algorithms are they are pre-processed. That means some organization developed by using thousands of millions of images, then they come up to a product. Then they solve that problem. Then they understood the problem. Then they solve that problem and they come up to this kind of a solution and that kind of a solution. Then the ultimate solution is with them. Then they finalize this is something to use by someone else. So you can use the same approach. You can get those things too, but always you should collect your data. Then only you'll realize something interesting. Then what you need to do is you need to clean data. Cleaning we have to do a lot of things, imputations, normalizations, etc. We'll do in class. We'll do practically. We'll clean the data. If you have a raw data set, yes, of course, you can experience a lot. Sorry, I forgot. To collect the data, we might have a lot of aspects. Not only that, collection methods, we can have very simple methods like surveys, but once it comes to data science, it's really complicated because collecting data through a survey is really, really hard because we want at least 50,000, around data to come up with a good product. To come up with a good product, we should have a sufficient sample. Then we have to go for analyzing. Then we have to go for the results. Then you are going to the data into the applications of AI. If you do have any questions, you feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. I will give 5 to 10 minutes to note down whatever things that you have learned up to now. And you feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer your questions. All right, let's see the questions here. The questions. Questions we have. Yes, the very first question is I don't have in-depth knowledge in statistics. Uh, so, if you don't have in-depth knowledge in statistics, the question is I don't have in-depth knowledge in statistics, uh, even though I didn't register for applied statistics course. So, um, generally, from my point of view, for the applied data science, we don't want statistics a lot. But in depth, if you're going for detail, statistics plays a vital role. If for this subject, if you have some basics of the statistics, I mean, is it score and other related stuff, I believe it's enough. You don't want in detail, in depth of statistics to complete this subject. But my suggestion is you should have a good knowledge in future, at least not now, but in future, please try to learn a bit more statistics, then you could be able to survive well. The next question is um, resource books. Actually, for this subject, we don't have resource books at the moment, but I'm planning to complete within next month, like before end of April. I'm planning to share all the things for the review. So meanwhile, we have only couple of chapters available. So I will share all these things very soon. I mean, before April, like at least end of April, we'll keep a target to finish these books. So you don't have a physical copy. Actually, we are not sharing any physical copies. We are sharing only PDF with you, so you can refer the book very soon. There's no, the question is what are specific math need in data science? There's no specific math, but algebra, metrics and stuff is really important. I mean, all these basic maths, if you have good understanding in A-level mathematics, yes, of course, you could be able to survive. Then, uh, there's no printed material for this subject. Again, I would like to emphasize. There's a question, how many steps in data science process? For that question, I don't have unique answer, but very general overview you can see in the screen. So it's just a very high level overview given for you. It's more than enough to survive. It's more than enough to survive. That's the expectation even. There's a question, the probability in maths is required. Yes, of course, the underlying machine learning aspect, some of the algorithms on top of probability distributions. Some of the things are not non-probabilities we have. So if you have general understanding in your head, then I believe it's sufficient to solve because I'm not focusing on a lot of math equations and stat equations to solve in this class. This subject is not for that. This subject is for the data science. So this is an application of statistics, machine learning, and sorry, statistics and math. This is not something to learn about probability or learn about maths. Eligibility criteria, I will share very soon with you. There's a book for that, I believe you can do. There's a question, is this an introduction course or a strong understanding of machine learning? No, you don't want to have strong understanding in machine learning or data science, nothing. I assume everyone is empty. I mean, empty in the sense beginners here, but end of the day, you are not a beginner, you are an intermediate level of a data scientist or a machine learning engineer. Lab informations we'll discuss in the lab, so you can learn what we are going to do. O level maths, I don't think so. You could have something a bit more, unless like you will grab, because I don't want to go for a lot of math for this subject. There's no plan to have any mathematics to be involved a lot for this subject. But my general suggestion is always it's good to have some of math, unless you might be stuck. For now, you might survive, but once you're growing, you'll get stuck. That's why I want to tell you. Actually, this is an interactive learning session, so you should ask questions. What programming do we use? Uh, I'd prefer Python in this class because last time there was R videos. So R labs we have last time. So I believe then you can learn self-study R. Then we'll do some Python this time. So then you can learn both Python as well as R. There's a question, is R only that we have to use in this subject? Answer is no, not at all. You have to use Python, R, or even any other programming language that fit for your case. Yes, of course, you can use it. There's a lab test. The question is, do we have a lab test? We have a lab test, that's a critical component, and I'm planning to have it as a physical lab test, not an online, because online mode, lot of issues happening. I will confirm that test. I don't like online exams. Yes, we have separate practical sessions, and we have CAT exams for this subject. Closed book exams we have for the CAT. I believe that's it. If you do have any questions, please use the chat, then I can answer. Another question, what about students who wishing to get this subject from AdDrop? Uh, Bit complicated question. Uh, yes, they can go through the recordings actually. That's the only solution we have. I will share this eligibility criteria and other stuff quickly. There's a question, can we use Java? Yes, of course you can use Java, but we don't have packages in Java. That's the problem. Is there a mini project? There is a mini research for this course. I will share all this information. So you should write a small article kind of thing. You should find something interesting because data scientist is a scientist. So it's not an engineer, it's a scientist. It's a different person who is finding new knowledge to the world. So if you want to be a data scientist, you should introduce something new. So that's my philosophy. We'll see. I'll confirm all of these things with you. Uh, I think the LMS, the question is LMS, we don't have practical sessions. I think it's lab. It's lab sessions we have. It's lab sessions. Whatever things before airdrop, I can't tell anything. I'm sorry. I can continue this one. Then, if someone is there to join after the airdrop, perhaps they can go through recordings and they can contact me. Yes, of course, I'm happy to get. There's a question. Third, I'm doing Python practicals, Python lab for you to get work done. So you should install Python. I believe everyone installed because you did the Python. So, and I'm using Python and Jupyter Notebook, and I will share our lessons with you. So parallelly, you can learn all of these things well. In August 3rd of April, 3rd of April, we are going to have a quick lab session. During that lab session, we are going to have uh, extracting couple of data for us and reading from pandas, and we are trying to uh, get some understanding of this data set. For example, mean, median, mode, and stuff, as well as something else if we can do. Yes, of course, that's we are planning to do. Course communication and LMS, please unlock others. Yes, of course, I'll unlock soon all of these content so you can access. There's no specific course materials for this subject. Again, I'm emphasizing it's basically covering the essentials. Like if you have something, web references and stuff. For the exams, you can use both R and Python. It's not a problem at all, the language. The question is, what programming languages used for the exams? You can use both R or Python. I don't bother even like don't mix it. You can use R or Python. That's not a problem at all. For the cat, yes, of course. Again, you can use R or Python. Yes, there's a lab test. It's a closed book lab test. I mean, no internet, no nothing. So you should do alone. It's physical. Lab test will be physical. In case if it is changed, I'll update you. Uh, there's what asking a question, what is the most preferred language? I don't prefer R or Python. It's not a problem at all. I don't have any specificity. You can go for anything, R or Python. It's up to you. Whatever you practice, yes, of course, because both R and Python we have packages, enough number of packages, so you can try all of these things. And I would suggest to learn both R and Python. Don't stick for R. Don't stick for Python. Whatever the materials available in the LMS would assess. No, 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 no. No test at the moment. Tests, all these tests are a bit later. I will update the test details. Whenever we have a test, I will add an announcement. Don't worry. Don't think about the assessments. Don't think about these marks and stuff. Just learn. Uh, then you can do a lot. Mm. I have knowledge in Python, statistics, and algebra. Can I do getting stuck? Yes, of course. Why not? If you are motivated, anyone can do this subject. What I believe. If you have a background, it's easy to grasp. That's the difference. All right. Seems that's all for the questions. No further questions are there. Interesting. No physical labs actually. I have planned because we have people in Kandy, Jaffna, and all over the country. Uh, I can't ask you all to come to Colombo, but I like actually if there's any possibility to do all these lectures as well as labs physically in class, then you will get much more hands-on, then you will get much more interesting. But unfortunately, how can I ask a Jaffna student to come to Colombo for a 2 hours lab session? Right. So ask Candy student to come to Colombo. Ask Matala student to come to Colombo. Matara student to come to Colombo. It's a bit complicated. In the other hand, I can't go for Candy Colombo and all of these places and teach. This is Python. This is how to get pandas and stuff. Right? So the only solution is going for online. Um, Sometimes it's bit hectic. We'll see. We'll mitigate all of these issues as much as no motivations for this start this program. Uh, I'll give a. I thought I gave a motivation students since you are not a very new student. You all completed level 3 subject and you have some knowledge. How open university exams are going on. I don't know about the other subjects. I don't bother at all the other subjects. For my subjects, whatever I'm teaching, but whenever I'm in open university till the last date, I don't give the past papers as it is for you. Please don't expect that from my end. There are lectures, yes, of course. There might be some lecturers sharing the same paper, last year paper with this year by changing couple of values, and this is the same thing that you are doing. So that might be for many cases, that might be okay. I don't bother with the others. I'm just going my path, and I'm not bothering the others what they are doing. What I believe is my papers are up to some standard. It's not very easy to solve. What I believe is this is the best university in Sri Lanka, so I can't come up with very simple question papers. And in the other hand, if you are going outside, you have to face for an interview. So for that interview, you might sit with other universities. At that time, you might call back to us. If the papers are a bit more harder, then we'll learn a bit more. So that's why my papers are a bit hard. It's obviously yes. So don't think my papers are really easy. It's just a piece of cake. Learning the past paper can solve this time. So the last past papers, last year paper also. One question is from your data, what the students did, a real world scenario. Most of the questions are real world questions that I'm asking. I don't ask fully hypothetical questions, fully theoretical questions. More or less, it's application knowledge, how to apply whatever you learn. All right. So don't assume uh, exam papers are extremely easy. That's the motivation that I have to give to you. You should push yourself and don't assume the in-class activities or the lecture sessions, sorry, interactive learning sessions would cover everything. I am sharing a lot of information in the LMS. Your responsibility is to learn all. Again, I'm telling you have to your responsibility is to learn all. I'm giving not outside of the scope. I'm not giving very simple things, and I'm giving the essentials. There might be some time you need to sacrifice for the subject because this is data science. If you are going outside, if you are going for an interview, then they might ask who is your lecturer for sure. Then you will tell my name, which is good, not good for me too, right? Which has happened in many cases. I have personal experiences. I sat for many interviews, and some of the interview panel members asking, "From whom you learned this subject?" Then the students are telling, "I learned from this lecturer." If my name is in there, I'll be a bit worried again. So I want to take Open University as the best place in the world. So we'll do together, right? We'll do together. We have a philosophy, we have a target. So we'll do the best for our university to get to good standard. I know we can do. That's the motivation. I believe it's enough. Right. In the lab, uh, for the lab, check our knowledge. Yes, of course. And check all of your knowledge, your coding skills, math skills, stat skills, and everything. Simply, end of the day, what I believe is if you go through these course materials, learn and do all these activities, what I'm instructing, for sure you can apply for a data science job role. But I can give a guarantee that you get a job, you can apply for a job, right? Right. Motivation is given for you again, asking for motivations. I give a lot of motivations. Any arrangements for the weekends? When this is there's no specific weekday or weekends. I don't know why you want these arrangements for the weekdays and weekend students, like 7:30 weekday or weekend students. All these students are they're free now, right? I don't know why you want these separate sessions for weekday and I don't like this. This is something like crazy. Right. When will be the labs? So it's given the schedule. I have uploaded some past papers to LMS, so you can go through these past papers. But again, I'm emphasizing, don't assume the past papers will be there as it is. You can learn what kind of questions might be in there. That's it. Don't by heart, because last semester I did a subject. Students learn past papers, not the subject. They learn past papers. I don't know what they did. They did learn past papers. Thinking my paper is totally different. No questions from past paper. Zero questions for sure, guys. There is no even a single question from the past papers, right? But there might be some help. There might be some help. I'm not telling don't do the past papers. Do the past papers, learn it, practice it, but don't by heart it. Sometimes there might be one or two questions, but don't by heart it. CAT schedule is given for you. Then lab session, lab one is given for you. These are not for evaluations. For evaluations, I will give all the details when the evaluations are going on. And don't worry with these as evaluations. You are not level 3 students, right? You don't bother with this level like beginners questions. Enjoy. All right. A lot of questions are there. I believe I'm happy to answer all these questions. So ask any number of questions. Don't worry, because these questions might be really helpful for you. Actually, I told you guys I don't have specific materials at the moment, but I will share all these things. I'll write quickly the materials and I will share with you. So we don't have any hard copies. I'm again emphasizing there's no hard copies, and I don't have any plan to give hard copies too. Because you are tech guys, right? Tech people don't want hard copies. Why we want hard copies? I don't. I'm sorry, I'm a bit different. So you should practice for the digital assets. Yes, there's no concept called day schools. It's interactive learning sessions. So this is the first interactive learning session. Interactive learning sessions are basically to help you out, to clarify your questions, and to get you into the next level, guide you, instruct you, help you, support you. That's the objective. There's a question, how do re-registration students join the lab test? April 22 re-registration. Uh, I think that's something to consider. Can you please drop an email, please? Then I can send to whoever the people responsible for this, because I'm not involving with this kind of administrative work a lot. Whatever the decisions that taken by the management, I'm happy. So they are asking to do this day, so I'm going to do that day. That's it. Any suggestions for the books to read? Yes, of course, I will share some couple of books with you. So then you can read those books, as well as there are thousands of books nowadays. Thousands of books nowadays. So you can read all from there. All right. I believe no more questions. There's a question, recordings. Usually I'm telling, usually I'm uploading all these recordings to LMS so you can learn. In case if I get late or if I missed it, drop an email. I'm happy to help you. And if I feel no students, then I don't upload it. It was happened last time, right? Last level 6 students, none of students, well, not for my subjects, one of subjects, none of students attend. One student attend, no one student was attend. Then that recording wasn't uploaded. Finally, there was 2 questions in the final exam paper. Then only one student answered for those questions. So these things could be happen. I'm just telling the myth. These are not truth, right? These are just myth, hypothetical things. Don't worry. These are just hypothetical things. That could be happen. Hypothetical things. All right, guys. We'll start our discussion again. That's my slides. Uh, right. So we'll start with data. We have to deal with a lot of data. What is data? Data is something in raw format. There's no pre-processed. It's just the nature gives for us. It's in the stage of didn't do anything. No one touched it. It's not clean. It's not purified. It's just in raw stage. Something. It could be a color. It could be a number. It could be a text. Something. Anything can be considered as text. What is information? If we take this data and process it in a proper scientific mechanism, then we could get this information. Information would help us to get a decision, and there's a meaning, and it's useful, and many other aspects we have. What are the common formats we have in the data? It might be structured and unstructured data we have. We'll have a quick discussion. What are these structured and unstructured data? Structured data is categorized data, and its elements has metadata attached. What are these metadata means? Metadata means the data describing the data. For an example, the type of the data, the length of the data, any specific null values allowed or not, such kind of scenarios are considered as structured data. Data is in searchable format. So in structured data, the data can be searched easily. It's like the data is in an Excel sheet. Data can be analyzed with business intelligence tools, not only business intelligence, but also any tool that we can use. Data facilitates automation, so we can automate a lot of things. For an example, custom applications receive a structured web form. So we have a form. Once we fill the form, the data is stored. So this form data can be processed easily because we specifically know what kind of data we have. For an example, tabular data we have. Tabular data means the data in a table format. Then we have semi-structured data. It's not fully structured. It's just partially structured. It's partially structured. It's limited metadata for data element. We have data is consistent format, and it's searchable. Data can be analyzed, but not very easy like structured data. We can automate the data, and we can get some work done. For an example, customer request received via free text upload or in the body of an email. So if you have some information, what we call a CV that you are sharing, or your whatever the information is shared by the body of the email. So text is available, it's searchable, but it's not very nice tabular format we can find. We have to do some of processing, a bit of processing. It's not a directly usable data. So that's why we have semi-structured data. Then third type is unstructured data. The data is not classified, is jumbled over the everywhere. Data elements are not have metadata attached, so not searchable format directly. So we have to review a bit more, and we have to give for interpretations. It's a bit hard to automate, and unstructured data available thousands of millions of mechanisms. For an example, data received via physical mail or scanned PDF file. So it's an image simply. Images are not in a structured manner. We have to convert into structured manner. We have to convert into semi-structured manner. We have to convert into tabular. We have to convert into something usable for us. So that's the big story that we have to keep in mind. Please make sure to understand unstructured data gives the biggest stories for the data scientist. For an example, ChatGPT, image recognition, facial recognitions, helmet detection, lot of things we have, interesting things that we have at the end of the day. All right, that's the very first part for this story. For sure, I will share these slides with you. And automation means what the question is, what does mean by automate? Automation means we are trying to extract data using a repetitive function. A repetitive function. If we have specific Excel sheet, for an example, tabular data, you can go for Pandas. It's a framework we'll tell it's a framework. It's much easy, right? It's not a pure framework. It's a different story, but we'll assume for your words, it's a quick framework that developed to extract data. So Pandas is doing a very simple task, extract in the same format. But if we take an image, so we can't extract easily like that. So we have to do a bit more. So we have to extract and get all these things for us. So that's the bigger thing that we have to understand. That's why we have this automation comes to the context. Right. Next, we'll go for a quick discussion. Right. They have the data science process as we discussed early. So we have business objectives we have. So what happens in business objectives? We have a business problem. Then we have collect data, required data. So we have to collect the data using this data requirement. Then we have to go for data collection. So we have to collect data. There might be numerous sources. It might be developed, found by yourself. or else there might be some publicly available data, Kaggle data. There might be different pronunciations. We have Kaggle, 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 Kaggle. So don't worry, I tell it's Kaggle, right? Kaggle data sets we have for the data collection. And we have research data. There are researchers publishing their data free of charge. So you can use those data for your work. So APIs are available to extract data. You have YouTube data API and many APIs available. You have cookies to collect the data. You have to think in a broader scope. Then we have to go for EDA. I will have a quick discussion what is this EDA is. Then modeling, evaluation, deployment. Then we have to go for monitoring. All these words are new for you for today, but next day when you are joined to this session, I would expect that everyone learn what are these words are. You can go to ChatGPT, then type what is modeling, spend a half an hour. It's more than enough for one topic, one word. So then you can learn all these things quickly. Next, we have a small array. Steps required for the predictive modeling. This is predictive modeling. All right. All right. Steps required for following a predictive analytical project. So we have to go for data extraction, which is the very first task that we have to do. We have to go for data cleansing. Then we have to go for data and exploiter data analysis, processing, feature engineering, feature selection. There might be here and there. Don't worry. It might be here, it might be here, it might be here, it might be there and stuff. Don't worry. For me, I don't have a unique process because we have to go back and forth again and again. Then we have data analysis, we have model building, model validation, model deployment, and monitoring the model. This is something that very high level that you have to understand for a data science project. The data extraction, for the data extraction, we have to do a lot to get the proper data set. Data extraction is process of retrieving or pulling out. We are taking out this data, interesting data, uh, and converting into structured format for the analysis. If you don't have structured data, it's a bit complicated, challenging at the end of the day. So what we have to do is we have to make this data into proper structural format. Do we can use traditional mechanisms like interviews and questionnaires and surveys. For me, if it is this kind of a thing for interview or questionnaires and surveys, it's really challenging because if you want to have a set of interviews, then you should have at least like 10,000, 50,000 of people to interview. For the questionnaires surveys, the same story. Collecting data from interviews, questionnaires are really complicated, but you can do. I'm telling you, it's not something that it's impossible. It's possible, but you should give a lot of effort. We have questionnaires, we have surveys and stuff. So extremely hard again to collecting the data. But once it comes to APIs, collecting data is really easy because if you know how to get this data through an API, so the problem solved. If you have responsibilities, if you have privileges, that's all. We can call to whatever the API, then get the data. There are a lot of publicly available data through these APIs. Even Kaggle provides an API for us to get the data. We have cookies, we have sensors. Nowadays, we have to focus on these kinds of methods to collect data or extract data. What I believe is these are a bit complicated interviews, surveys, and stuff. If you're going for that, that's okay. All right, we'll do a quick question. It's an icebreaker. Start. 2 minutes. All right, thank you. Ah, good. So many students responded. So I'm really appreciate. That means you people are alive. Right, good. That makes sense. There's a request to paste the link to the chat. I'm sorry. Just I saw that. So the meeting. Here you go. Yes, of course, I can share the slides now. Yes, yes, why not? Why not? Um, all right, I have shared the slides with you. So you can enjoy these slides. Don't stick for this. This is just a reference for you. Keep in mind, just a reference. You should deep dive. You should do practically. Don't learn all these theories without any practicals. No point at all. If you don't know how to interpret in a practical manner, there's no point to learn that subject. So you should practice it. You should do some coding or whatever the way. You should interpret it in a business. Whatever the things that you are learning should generate a business value, unless it's just all a set of theories. No point at all. Right? No point at all learning all these behind the scenes what happens. We don't bother at all. It's not generating even 1 cent. Right? So you should focus to generate a business value. That's the place that generates value for this world. Unless you learn all these big theories, you know all these what is this outlier, but you don't know how to get the outlier from a data set. No point at all. And in the other hand, we can't inject these kinds of things. You should practice it, practice and practice and practice. Then only you'll realize, this is the story that we have to understand. It's not something happen all of a sudden. Until you are doing and unless you are doing anything, you can't get this experience. Don't read, don't go to YouTube, just practically see. Right, practically see. Now I will give a quick hint for you. Now you heard the word, right? Kaggle do provides APIs to extract data. YouTube provides data API to extract. Now you should think how to extract data, what kind of data they are allow us to extract. For an example, do we have something likes to be extract, comments to be extract? Do they allow to extract uh, any specific recommendation things? So you should experiment these things, then only you will get your hands dirty. Then it's not a big deal for you. This is the truth behind learning, unless you might be a person to have a first class honors degree but don't know anything. I mean, you know the story, but you don't know how to interpret using a practical thing. You should do practically and see. We'll see. We'll enjoy these things, and those are really interest. I thought today, like a bit of change in the time was a bit of jumbled because I was kept my 3467 also today. Then I got a quick break. Then it took more than that. All right, guys. I believe the session is enough for you. We'll meet soon. Meanwhile, if you want any help, please contact me, drop mail, give me a call, or else you can use the traditional LMS. Yes, of course, that's the best place to communicate. So everyone get to know that question and there's an answer from someone. Yes, of course, including myself. I can help you to whatever the problems that you have. So let's dive this journey. End of this semester, I would expect at least we have 100 plus students, at least 10 percentage to 15 percentage should be in data science industry. So you should keep a target. I'll be a data scientist today, right? So that's should be in your hands. For that, you should have hands-on experience, theoretical knowledge, then you should practical implementations should be there, then you should buy hard. I'm pretty sure at least 10 to 15 students in this class would be data scientists. So you will be the next one. Push yourself, learn and learn, practice and practice and practice. Until you are practicing, you don't know the taste, right? It's like some food is available in somewhere. Until you bite it, until you eat it, you don't know the taste. You eat it, then you'll realize whether it's tasty or not. All right, guys, then enjoy the life. Say bye bye. We'll meet soon.